Morning YouTube. So it's the day after Saltex, back to work. Yes, it's raining. So in this part of the video, the first part you want to see me walking around and you'll see me focusing on certain parts. That's what I really went for. So if I didn't make it clear in the first part, I went to Saltex for a few reasons, but one of them was to look at next year's purchases. I wanted to get a better hands-on experience and a feel for them. And as much as I try and look at reviews on YouTube and reviews online, well, sometimes there's not that many reviews. Sometimes it's better to actually physically be there and have a look at it, speak to the reps, get a rough idea. So I went with two things in mind. I wanted to look at the new Ego mower. I looked at it, I touched it, I spoke to the dealer, very happy with it. And then the next thing I looked at was a weed ripper. Again, I can feel it, touch it, get a rough sort of feel for it and see whether it's, it's for me, basically. So that's pretty much shaped what my next year's purchases are going to be. Now, I don't really set an amount of investing for the business. I do and I don't, but I think these two items are possibly going to be what I'll probably buy next year. And possibly, and this is another thing, Saltex. So did I enjoy Saltex? Yes, I did. I found it very worthwhile. I found it very enjoyable. I thought it was better than last year. I honestly think Saltex is what you make it. So if you go there just with the idea of getting whatever free samples you can get, and you're susceptible to being annoyed at high prices for certain things that you need while you're there, then it might not be for you. So if you go and you moan about parking's expensive, food's expensive, sausage roll and a drink was £8, everything there is expensive. Even Wetherspoons is expensive, for crying out loud. As I said, everything is expensive. But the thing is, if you go in there with a specific aim of purchasing a tool, well, most of the places did a show price. So what if you're buying a big tool, whatever you think you want to buy, you're getting that coffee, you're getting that parking, you're getting that for free plus extra with what you're going to save from a tool. So I think for going for that reason to something like Saltex is worth it alone. What I went for was, as I said, look at the new Ego mower, look at a weed ripper and a moss brush. And I did. I went, touched it, spoke to the dealer, brilliant. I arranged a demo with Mosquito. It's Overton or Overton. They do the weed ripper / moss brush. You've seen Scott from SE Landscaping use one. That is the one I'm going to be purchasing next year. I'm going to have a demo and we're going to go from there and see whether it is that. And the dealer rep, whatever, he actually says, Luke, we always arrange a demo first, so it's right for you. Can't say fairer than that. I did say to him, I'm not demanding, but I am and I aren't. I did say to him, well, Luke, set aside a morning and we will go around to a few of my jobs and we'll use them, because I want to get a broad range. I want to see what it's like on new tarmac, old tarmac, and I want to see what it's like on I'm going to put it through its pay. I've told him this, but I've said to him, Luke, while you're with us, we'll go there's a good cafe near to us, we'll go out for a brekkie, dinner, whatever, it's not to butter him up so he gives me something, it's so he's more inclined to think, you know what, I will spend a bit extra and let this bloke do this on this job and just see. It's so I can get a baseline to see if it's for me. Why? Because it's £4,500. That's the reason. I want to make sure it's right for me, and even he said that. Ego mower, pretty more straightforward. I think that's clocking in, the bloke said, £2,000 with 2 batteries. It's a lot, but for me, I was so happy with the Ego mower during the summer months that if this one is better than that, I don't mind spending that money. So I will be investing in them 2 pieces of equipment. That's why I went to Saltex. So when I spend £6,000, this isn't a fucking a boast, but you know, if I'm spending 6 grand on tools next year, I want to make sure they're bloody right. Another thing as well is it's what you make it. So while I was walking around, this is down there, it's down there. I think it's Resi Block, or there's a company there that I think they do like franchises for it, where you can sort of buy their stuff, and it's an alternative to power washing. So what it is it will, it's like wet and forget, but I think it's better. Well, I hope it is. And I have used similar stuff before, you know, where you put it in a watering can or your knapsack and you just spray everywhere, you leave it 24 hours and it works over time. This stuff that they've got seems basically the cock for dolly. It's pet safe, plant safe, you know, it's all that they say it's suitable. So for me, my business, like, people might, well, you power wash, but there's some things that I can't power wash. There's some surfaces I can't power wash. You know, what happens if you're in between that with a customer where they don't really want it power washing, but they want it sorting? You know, this could be the opportunity. So I'm looking forward to try. They did give me a pack of it actually, so I'm going to try it on my brother's property. I always try it there. And if it works and it's something I can use, then yeah, I will buy into it. I'll buy, not do a franchise thing, no, but I'll buy the product and I'll list it as a service. Or if it's not a service or an add-on, it's another tool in my arsenal where, you know, like I just said, if it's that in-betweeny job, yes, I've got this product, I've used it before, it works. It doesn't work straight away, but it works over time and it's guaranteed to work. Yeah, brilliant, try that. And then you can then go back to them 6 months later saying, oh, it's going to wear off after 6 months. You know what I mean? Now, I wouldn't have had that if I went Saltex. Another thing as well, I was walking around, we went with Reese, his missus Sam, and there was a chap there called Phil who tagged along with us. He's a greenkeeper, and you know, it was another product there that I saw. Now, I don't have any problems in any of my gardens with bugs or grubs or, you know, insects, but there's a product there that I saw that Phil vouched for. The blokes behind it seemed nice, and if I need it, I know where to go to. So it's networking, but it's not networking. It's not like, you know, you're palling up to them. It's, you've seen what will work for you. It might not work for me now, but it will in the future. So that's what Saltex. And of course, meeting people, a couple of people from YouTube come up, and it's nice seeing them. I don't go for that. I don't go for, you know, on the hopes that someone asks me if I've got a YouTube channel. Nothing at all. I did say that to the what is it, the mosquito bloke, the one with the weed brush. He was saying there's some videos, but they haven't got many. And I says, well, I do a bit of YouTube, like, you know, amateur. I says, but, you know, if it is you come down, we could sort some. I said, but I'm not mentioning that for a discount. It's mentioning it so, you know, you're getting something out of it as well as I'm getting something out of it. So just have to see on that. I don't do YouTube, and I was saying this to another YouTuber yesterday, a couple of them. You don't get anything from YouTube other than a comment and a like. And you don't get money, you know. You're not gonna, even if you get over the subscriber count and you get monetized, it's pence, it's nothing. It's like another YouTuber, he told me what he earned in, it was either a month or 3 months, but even if it was in a month, it was, if you were to put an hourly figure on it, it'd be pence an hour. So we aren't doing it for money. I'm not anyway. You know, I just do it because I enjoy doing it. So there's a few comments I saw. I'm not sticking up for Saltex, you know, I'm not fighting their battles. I'm just giving you my sort of impression. It's bloody cold today. People were saying about, one of the main critiques from people was it was quieter than last year. Now, I think that's better, to be fair. I didn't think it was any quieter. I'll have to go back and have a look at last year's Saltex video, because I did one last year, but you can see the crowds as I was walking through. They weren't like, you weren't like hemmed up. I've been to trade fairs where you can't move, like you are literally shuffling amongst everyone. That SGM-garden, he did a podcast about about Saltex last year, and I listened to it today actually, funny enough, and he mentioned that there's been previous years where it was that busy you had to queue to get in. You walk straight in today or yesterday, and then while you were there you had to queue to get onto the stall to speak to somebody because it was that busy. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't want that. I'm sorry, that's not for me. I don't want I hate queuing. I hate loads of people. I love people. I wouldn't say I'm introvert, but I wouldn't say I'm extrovert. I'm selective on each one of them, but I'm not. I fucking hate queuing. The thought of queuing to speak to people annoys me. So I'm happy with that. I do understand though that that is detrimental to Saltex, because them stall people have spent thousands on stalls, and if they don't get the foot traffic, then it's not worth it for them. So there is needed to be a balance, but well, I'm only on about what, you know, I like, which is, you know, just not waiting for things. But I did speak to the people as I went round, and this is the thing: make the most of Saltex and trade fairs, or any opportunity. Make the most of it. So don't see it as, you know, freebies and that's it. Just have a chat with people. You never know. So there was one thing there was a Scott from SE Landscaping using it. It's a portable pressure washer with a tank and portable thing, pump, everything built in on a trolley. And he was talking to the lady. I was talking to the same company who makes them, because I'm thinking, you know, ways down the line, there's no harm in asking. I'd like to get a van mounted system for the back of my van for the power washing, you know, but probably in another van. This is way down the line, you know, it might not happen, but I thought, well, I saw them as I was going around. I thought, you've got a big power washer with a Honda engine on, it's on its own frame, it's got an own tank built in, you can take it in and out. Well, why not look at that instead of having to sort of, you know, have a system that's stuck in your van all the time? You could just push this thing in and out. Well, I had a chat with him, and I'll be honest with you, it's fantastic, British made, all that, but it's not for me. It's not the right option for me. It's not got the power that I would need or want. You know, the thing is, with a power washer, my advice, quick tip for power washing: get the biggest fucking machine you can, the biggest one you can afford. You know, get it, because you can turn a big washer down. You do, and then that way, if you've got a way over spec machine like mine, you don't need to run it at full. You can run it at half. So the engine's going to last forever, the pump's going to last forever, because it's not under massive load. If you buy a small machine, you've got to run the bollocks off it, rev the bollocks off it continuous. Yes, it's made for it, but it won't like it as much as it would a bigger machine at half. So them machines there are probably what I think is sort of, you would have to run it, and probably I'd miss the power, because it's got nowhere near the power that mine has. As I said, the one I've got's a lump. But another thing as well is you can't demo the machines there, so you can't fire them up. You can't, you know, you can't like go out in the field with them, but you can get a feel of the machine. So best example, I'll do a video on my weed ripper. I won't mention it because it's a bit of a hot topic. I did get a bit sort of stung by it, I must admit. It's left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. But I will do a video on it, but I'll be tactful. But I was trying to get it in so it's tactful, so it passes the point across. But I went with the idea of looking at a new weed ripper yesterday and a new moss brush. Now there's 3 people there. One of them I've mentioned earlier, or I think I did, where of all the trades people there, everyone was friendly, but there was one company where, you know, he come up, he says, are you with a council or purchasing team? I says, oh no. I said, it's just me. He says, oh well, all the information's online. Went and carried on talking to his mate. So that's one weed, and that's who I bought off as well. So you know what I mean, I'm trying not to rain on them, but they don't help. I'm not mentioning it. I'll do it in another video. Well, I'll talk about it, but I won't mention it. I'll let you work it out for yourself, because I don't believe, this is another thing with doing YouTube, I don't want to put shit on other people. Yes, I've had a very bad experience, but I don't want to rain on it for somebody else. But I want to put the facts out there, and then you can make your own mind up. It's not Sam, the YouTuber, saying this is it. I know, frustrating. So that being said, I looked at another weed ripper, and to be fair, it's a fantastic piece of equipment, but it's a big lump. it's one of them where it probably, I don't think it'd fit in my van because it's long. Yes, you could fold handlebars, but I work on my own. You know, getting it up into it would be a ball ache. So I looked at another one. Sorry, there was 4 there. Well, there was 3 that I spoke to. The one I mentioned that was a bit of a ball ache, I think it was an elite one. It's the one with the Ego engine on it. So, you know, it's not suitable for me. Then I looked at another one where he says, yeah, you can just take it apart. He says the front comes off it and then just, you know, put what on off in it. I says, so I'm sorry, I says, but that alone, it's not what I'm after. And he did ask why. I says, well, I stored it and I used it on one site, yeah, but I said I'll be taking it in and setting it up. I says I don't want that. So I looked at another one, and this one was from Mosquito, and I was really happy with it. This is what I was saying, you can get a feel of it, you can push it, you can't start it up, but you can get a feel of the build quality. Sometimes there's things that are built well, but they're overbuilt to the detriment of them being a lump, where they're really hard to move, they're really hard to push. I think sometimes with stuff like with the power, where I said about the power wash, you get the biggest one. I'd say with a moss brush or a weed brush, don't get the biggest one, because you're fighting it. And this is my experience with the weed ripper I've got. You're fighting it. It's too aggressive, you know, it's a maul. Okay, if you got one half the size, it's going to take you half as long, you know, twice as long, you know, theoretically. But you're probably going to have a more enjoyable time doing it. What about those tight accesses? You know, it's not all big open spaces. So this one I looked at yesterday from Nemos, that's really small. You could get it down, yeah. So I made my mind up on that, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without Saltex. I wouldn't have been able to do that without, you know, going and picking things up and getting a feel, or, you know, I would have been, well, I would have just had to take a punt on something, wouldn't it? I've done that before, and trust me, it's not worth it. If you've got a big purchase in mind, or a big thingy, I can guarantee that if you're at a fair, they might have a discount on. It could be worth you traipsing up for that fair just to get that discount. Yeah, you'll pay to get in, but if you make the most of it, you look around, you speak to people, but it's only going to benefit you in the long run. So that's how I try and look at things. So Saltex, would I go again? Yep. Did I enjoy it? Yep. Did I get what I wanted from it? Yep. Was the sausage roll bone dry and hard to eat? Yep, but I still ate it. Would I go next year? Yeah, I would. Special thanks to Reese for going as a lift up, and Phil for tagging along with us, because he would have had to put up with me talking. So yeah, have a good day guys. Keep on gardening or guttering, whatever you want to be doing.